In the quiet town of Price, Utah, a horrific crime shattered the fragile bubble of security surrounding a severely disabled woman. Ashley Vigil, a 31-year-old woman living with Rett Syndrome, spent her life confined to her small, frail body. Unable to walk, talk, or defend herself, Ashley depended entirely on her family for protection. But in a devastating betrayal, the man tasked with protecting her instead became her predator. This documentary delves into the life of Ashley Vigil, the heinous acts committed against her by her stepdad, the ensuing investigation, and the fight for justice. Welcome to Forbidden Passion. I'm glad to have you join us for another video. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Let me know where you are watching from. Ashley Vigil was born in the early 1990s in Utah, a beacon of hope and love for her family. From the moment she entered the world, it was clear she was specially different, though her journey would be uniquely challenging. Her parents noticed developmental delays early on, which eventually led to a diagnosis of Rett Syndrome, a rare neurological disorder predominantly affecting girls. This diagnosis came with a profound realization. Ashley's life would be shaped by immense physical and cognitive limitations. She would require constant care and attention for the rest of her life. Rett syndrome gradually took away the abilities most children develop naturally. By the time Ashley was a toddler, she lost the ability to speak and use her hands purposefully. Her days became filled with therapy sessions, medical appointments, and adaptive equipment designed to improve her quality of life. Yet despite these challenges, Ashley's family described her as having a vibrant personality that shone through in her expressions and reactions to those around her. She loved being read to, listening to music, and feeling the warmth of her mother's presence. Her mother, Paula Vigil, became Ashley's primary caregiver and fiercest advocate. Paula poured herself into learning everything she could about Rett syndrome, joining support groups and seeking out specialists. The family's home was transformed into a sanctuary designed to meet Ashley's needs. From wheelchair accessibility to sensory-friendly environments, every detail was carefully considered to ensure Ashley's comfort and well-being. Ashley's relationship with her mother was profound and unshakable. Paula's dedication went beyond providing physical care. She sought to give Ashley a life filled with love and connection, even within the confines of her condition. Despite the hardships, Paula often spoke of the joy Ashley brought to their lives. Her bright eyes and occasional smiles served as a reminder of the humanity and spirit that thrived within her fragile body. Extended family and friends also played a role in supporting Ashley. They participated in her care, celebrated her milestones, and helped create moments of happiness. Yet, the demands of caregiving were immense, and the Vigil family's resilience was tested repeatedly. Financial strain, emotional exhaustion, and the constant vigilance required to manage Ashley's condition took a toll. Still, Paula remained steadfast, driven by an unrelenting love for her daughter. The challenges of caregiving were immense. Rett syndrome's unpredictability meant Paula had to stay constantly vigilant. Seizures, difficulty breathing, and sudden health crises became a routine part of life. Despite the physical and emotional toll, Paula approached her role with unwavering dedication. She often referred to Ashley as her little warrior, a source of inspiration even on the most exhausting days. Paula's caregiving extended beyond the physical. She worked tirelessly to ensure Ashley felt included and loved, often creating special moments to bring joy to her daughter's life. Whether it was reading stories, playing Ashley's favorite music, or simply sitting by her side, Paula ensured that Ashley never felt alone. These small acts of love became a cornerstone of their relationship, highlighting Paula's commitment to making Ashley's life as fulfilling as possible. When Kenneth Urban entered the Vigil family's life, he seemed to bring a sense of stability. People say Paula met Kenneth through mutual friends, and his charismatic personality quickly won over those around him. To Paula, Kenneth appeared to be a caring and supportive partner, someone who could share the responsibilities of raising a family and, most importantly, help her care for Ashley. At first, Kenneth's integration into the family's life was seamless. He attended family gatherings, expressed genuine interest in Ashley's well-being, and even accompanied Paula to some of Ashley's medical appointments. To the outside world, Kenneth appeared to be a compassionate stepfather, willing to step up in a difficult situation. His calm demeanor and ability to adapt to the family's unique challenges earned him Paula's trust. As Kenneth became more involved in the household, he began taking on responsibilities that placed him in close proximity to Ashley. He would help with her daily care routines, such as feeding her, assisting with her wheelchair, and ensuring she was comfortable. For Paula, this was a welcome relief. Balancing Ashley's care with the demands of everyday life was overwhelming, and Kenneth's willingness to contribute seemed like a blessing. However, there were subtle signs that Kenneth's intentions were not entirely genuine. On rare occasions, family members noticed Kenneth's behavior toward Ashley seemed overly attentive in ways that didn't align with his role. These moments were fleeting and easily dismissed as overprotectiveness or a misunderstanding. Kenneth's outwardly supportive demeanor made it difficult for anyone to suspect he was capable of harm. Kenneth's presence brought temporary relief to Paula, who felt she finally had a partner to share the burden of caregiving. She trusted him implicitly, never imagining that the man she welcomed into her home would become the architect of her family's worst nightmare. Kenneth's facade of kindness and support masked a darker, predatory nature that would soon come to light. In October 2022, Ashley's health began to deteriorate. Her seizures became more frequent and severe, leaving Paula desperate for answers and solutions. The family's trusted physician recommended installing a surveillance camera in Ashley's bedroom. The intention was purely medical, to monitor the timing and severity of Ashley's seizures so doctors could better understand her condition and adjust her treatment plan accordingly. Paula agreed, hoping this intervention might lead to improved care for her daughter. Initially, the surveillance footage provided insight into Ashley's nocturnal seizures. The camera's recordings revealed the moments when Ashley's body was racked by convulsions, allowing Paula and the doctors to develop more targeted interventions.
As we go into the most intense part of this video, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. It gives me motivation to create more videos. If you love this video and wish to see more, kindly subscribe.
But over time, the recordings captured something far more sinister, a reality Paula could never have anticipated. One night, Paula reviewed the footage as part of her routine. To her utter horror, the camera revealed Kenneth Urban entering Ashley's room under the guise of checking on her. What followed was a heinous act of betrayal that shattered the family's trust and sense of security. Kenneth was seen removing Ashley's diaper and sexually assaulting her, a defenseless woman who could neither speak out nor resist. The shocking footage confirmed the unimaginable. The man Paula had trusted with her daughter's care was her predator. Paula was paralyzed with grief and rage as she watched the violation unfold. Every protective measure she had put in place to safeguard Ashley's vulnerable existence seemed futile in the face of Kenneth's monstrous actions. She felt an overwhelming sense of guilt for allowing him into their lives, despite having no reason to suspect his true nature. The discovery ignited a whirlwind of emotions and immediate action. Paula contacted law enforcement, providing them with the damning evidence captured by the surveillance camera. Officers responded swiftly, apprehending Kenneth Urban and beginning the process of ensuring Ashley's safety while pursuing justice. For Paula, the betrayal was a devastating blow, but it also steeled her resolve to protect her daughter and hold Kenneth accountable for his heinous crimes. Kenneth Urban's arrest on a chilly October morning in 2022 was a pivotal moment in the Vigil family's pursuit of justice. Law enforcement officers armed with the damning surveillance footage provided by Paula approached Kenneth at his residence. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Kenneth appeared calm, almost indifferent, as he was taken into custody. This lack of remorse further fueled the Vigil family's outrage. Body camera footage from the arrest captured Kenneth's demeanor, stoic and unflinching. As officers read him his rights and placed him in handcuffs, Kenneth offered no resistance, maintaining an eerie silence. The community, learning of the arrest through local news outlets, was shocked to discover that a man who had once been considered a trusted figure within the Vigil household was now accused of such heinous crimes. Paula, still reeling from the trauma of discovering Kenneth's actions, felt a bittersweet sense of relief. While his arrest marked the beginning of a legal battle, it also signified a crucial step toward accountability. For Ashley, who had endured unimaginable suffering, the arrest was a promise that her voice, though silent, would be heard. The arrest itself was meticulously planned by law enforcement to ensure Kenneth had no opportunity to flee or tamper with evidence. Officers worked swiftly to secure additional warrants to search Kenneth's personal belongings and devices for any further incriminating evidence. Investigators hoped to uncover more information that would not only solidify their case, but also potentially identify other instances of abuse. As Kenneth was transported to the local detention center, news of his arrest began to spread. Advocacy groups and community members rallied around the Vigil family, offering support and calling for harsher penalties for crimes against vulnerable individuals. The public outcry was immediate and intense, with many demanding that Kenneth face the maximum punishment allowed by law. Despite the relief of Kenneth's arrest, Paula knew the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges. Legal proceedings would take time, and the family would be forced to relive the trauma through testimonies and evidence presentations. Still, the arrest was a crucial step toward justice, and Paula's resolve to protect Ashley's legacy only grew stronger. As the investigation unfolded, law enforcement uncovered further evidence of Kenneth's crimes. Testimonies from family members and medical professionals painted a grim picture of the abuse Ashley endured. The legal system, however, faced significant challenges in pursuing justice due to Utah's laws, which differentiated between adult and minor victims without accounting for mental capacity. The Vigil family's grief turned to advocacy as they fought for harsher penalties for crimes against disabled adults. Paula Vigil collaborated with legal experts to draft Ashley's Law, a proposal aimed at closing the legal gaps that allowed Kenneth Urban to escape a mandatory minimum sentence. The months following Kenneth Urban's arrest were a mix of relief and heartbreak for the Vigil family. While Ashley was finally safe from her abuser, her health continued to decline rapidly. The trauma she had endured left indelible marks on her already fragile body and spirit. Seizures that had once been sporadic became a daily occurrence, each one taking a toll on her small frame. Despite the family's best efforts, including medication adjustments and consultations with specialists, Ashley's condition deteriorated. Paula Vigil and the rest of the family did everything they could to ensure Ashley's remaining days were filled with love and comfort. Her room became a sanctuary adorned with soft lighting, familiar music, and pictures of cherished family moments. They took turns sitting by her bedside, reading her favorite books and holding her hand during the worst of her seizures. Ashley's grandmother often read to her, a calming ritual that had been a source of solace throughout her life. As Ashley's weight plummeted to just 48 pounds, her body struggled to cope with the demands placed upon it. Eating became increasingly difficult, and even the smallest of movements seemed to exhaust her. Doctors explained that her weakened state made her more vulnerable to complications, and the family braced themselves for what they knew was inevitable. Despite their heartbreak, they remained committed to giving Ashley as much joy and comfort as possible. On March 16, 2023, Ashley's frail body gave out. She passed away quietly in her grandmother's arms, surrounded by the family who had loved and protected her as fiercely as they could. The official cause of death, according to reports, was said to be sudden, unexpected death in epilepsy, SUDP. A tragic but not uncommon outcome for individuals suffering from severe seizure disorders. For the Vigil family, the loss was immeasurable, a pain compounded by the knowledge of the suffering she had endured in her final years. Ashley's passing left the family devastated, but determined to honor her memory. Paula vowed to channel her grief into action, ensuring that no other vulnerable individual would endure the horrors her daughter had faced. Friends, family, and members of the community gathered for a memorial service to celebrate Ashley's life. It was a poignant tribute filled with stories of her resilience and the light she had brought to those around her. In the wake of her death, Ashley's story became a rallying cry for change. Advocacy groups and lawmakers took notice, pledging to address the gaps in legal protections for disabled adults. For Paula, her daughter's legacy was clear. Ashley's life and struggles would serve as a catalyst for reform, sparking a movement to ensure justice and protection for society's most vulnerable members. Kenneth Urban later pled guilty to 5 felony charges, including sexual assault and forcible sexual abuse. In April 2024, he was sentenced to serve his convictions consecutively, receiving 5 years to life for each of the sexual assault charges and 1 to 15 years for each of the 3 forcible sexual abuse charges.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join our growing community. Your support keeps us creating.